All right. Enough for academics. Right there. I'm gonna just pause that. He's live right now, streaming, talking this shit. But I want to come live to you guys. It's been a while since I've had a video, so I just figured I'd just go live and direct, man. How's it going, everybody? Before we get started, like and subscribe. You know the deal. Hit the bell as well. Comments below. We need all that, all that, all that. I don't got nobody in the chat right now, so we're just gonna get into it, man. It's been a while. It's been a couple of weeks, so there's a lot to fucking talk about. What's up, Hunter? Oh, now the pressure's on. Now the fucking pressure is on. Anyways, I wanted to just come here and talk a little bit about. We're gonna start with the "They Not Like Us" video. So, Hunter, if you're watching, go ahead and leave. Go ahead and leave because I don't care. I got a live reaction coming soon on the channel, but I want to just kind of really. Could you be more fucking loud? I'm done. Golly. Anyways, that's the problem with going live. Hunter said goat video, but we're done. He hates the song. He hates everything about the song. That's just what it is. He keeps calling it Disney and Kids Bop, and it's not. Like, it's not. Y'all are trying to turn it into Kids Bop because moms are remixing it and shit. But, like, we like that. Dun, 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 dun. They Cheeto Puffs. They Cheeto Puffs. They Cheeto Puffs. But, nah, great video, man. Like I said, we got the reaction coming on the channel, so I don't want to give too much away, but I just want to say it just gives me reminiscent times of, like, the old days before the streaming era when we had BET countdowns and shit, MTV, Yo MTV Raps and Yo MTV Jams, all of those eras when you used to wait, a song would come out and then you would wait for a video a month or two later. There was anticipation, there was build up, there was hype, and then everybody watched the video together. So that's what that reminded me of yesterday. So I fuck with that. So I appreciate that. Shout out to Kenny, shout out to Drake. They gave us a classic battle. I'm ready for it to wind down. Everybody's acting like, not everybody, but Aubrey's Angels are acting like Kendrick is the one dragging this thing on. That is just not the truth at all. Drake is doing all the trolling. We haven't heard from Kendrick Lamar throughout this whole beef, not on any social media platforms. He's just giving us the music and giving us the performance and the video, which is what an artist should do. Drake has been the one keeping up with the antics. Every time we look up, he's like drinking, his wine coolers with his pinky thumb up, with his pinky fucking nail, and doing all that weird shit that he does, all that little trolling. Oh, I'm not affected, I'm a bad bitch type shit that he does. But we're done. We're done with that. That's what we're done with. We are done with that. Like, God, what Kendrick say? Fuck a caption, want action. That's what we want. If you gonna come outside and you gonna engage, then engage. If not, then man down, stand back, call the ambulance, and tell them breathe, bro. That's all. That's all we want. I never was a fan of all. I mean, I like trolling, but I told people early on, I said, no. I said, Kendrick is a GOAT troll. Y'all think Drake be trolling these artists and Drake bully Kanye? No, that's because these clowns don't know nothing. They're not from that era. I said Kendrick is the GOAT troller because he's been trolling through his music for a long time. He's done little, he always does little fucking Easter eggs and shit like that. So I already knew he was going to be a GOAT troll. So if Drake wants this to end and he doesn't want this to continue and stuff, then he needs to stop. If not, then y'all need to sit back and let Kendrick continue to roll out and roll over this fucking dead owl, because that's what's going to happen. That is what is going to happen. He's going to continue to get smacked down, and that's what he deserves. He's smacked. He's smacked. And he's smacked. That's all he's ever deserved. I've been waiting for somebody to smack him in the lips. Pusha T didn't smack him hard enough, but Pusha T smacked him. Straighten Drake up. But Drake got to get over on that and got to, weasel his way out of that like he's weaseled his way out of everything else. But not this time. His best bet is to just sit back and not say nothing. The songs that he dropped with Camila Cabello, racist, racist bitch, that didn't work. Barely charted. The song he dropped with Sexy Red ruined the Sexy Red song. Everybody else is singing the Sexy Red part, and like they cut the Drake part off. We don't even remember that part. That part's horrible. So, it's just not working. And then he did the Wangwan Dalala. Have you heard that since it dropped? Not me. They talking about it was, a Canadian anthem and all that. No, it's not. Just stop. One thing I have noticed, I don't know if you guys have noticed, one thing I have noticed is Drake has like suddenly embraced Canadian culture. See, what Kendrick did, guys, it was kind of like what Trump plans to do. What Trump plans to do when he gets into office is to deport people back to their place, back to where they go, and back to where they live. And that's what Kendrick did to Drake. He literally called ICE and he literally got Drake deported. That's just what happened, you know? So Drake is now embracing his Canadian roots and his Jewish controlling roots. And then, you know, now he's, you know, talking about National Canada Day, and he's having his Canadian Toronto accent. And now he's doing with Aubrey's Angels and Hell's Angels. They beat the hell out of Rick Ross. You know, Rick Ross's security guard on one knee on that ground, man, needing to catch his breath, was fucking gold. I don't support and I don't condone it by any means. Especially, I don't like white men punching black men. But, and y'all can say I'm race baiting, I don't care. But I don't like them doing that particularly, and then saying the N-word after. That's just me. But Rick Ross had it coming. You know, Rick Ross is a grown man. He had security. He should be able to defend himself. But they didn't. They got their ass beat. And so that is what it is. But I'm just letting Drake and his team know, when you're dealing with Kendrick and the West Coast and stuff, it's a whole different monster. And you don't want to bark up that tree. You don't want to bark up that tree. Or if you do want to bark up that, I mean, if you want to bark up that tree, you know, you got to be careful. Some trees might fall on you and shit like that. So just be prepared. I don't think Drake is calculated enough. People always have had this like idea that he was so calculated because he made Sicko Mode for Kanye West and like all these things. And I'm like, y'all, there is masterminds in this sport that we call rap, in this industry. And to me, Drake does not fit the bill of a mastermind. And the person that he's looking across from on his chessboard is a fucking mastermind. And I don't even think y'all seen the half of it. Y'all don't even see the half of it. And we're still picking out Easter eggs from 616. Shout out to What's the Dirt. Shout out to What's the Dirt. I think What's the Dirt was capping a little bit. I don't think he was capping, but I just think he was ill-informed on a lot of that stuff. But it was very thorough, very interesting. I watched every bit of it. It is a brilliant channel. Shout out to What's the Dirt. Please go subscribe. Definitely watch the 616 in LA video. Everybody's talking about that breakdown. It's a pretty good, thorough breakdown. Hard to argue a lot of the points that he made. I did my own reaction to the video, and I find it hard to, some of those lines he's associating that Kendrick is rapping from Drake's perspective is just not the case. I think a lot of those references do point to Drake, but Kendrick was angling that to let Drake know that he knows, like, for instance, the marina, the yachts and stuff like that. He's just putting that in his raps to let Drake know, like, hi, I got you in the scope. Like, I got fouls on you too. I don't think he's necessarily rapping from Drake's perspective, because Drake definitely wouldn't be shouting to God and asking for forgiveness and all that. Like that, that kind of fell for me. So, but yeah, shout out to What's the Dirt. That was a good video. Yeah, but like the They Not Like Us video is breaking Eminem's record. It's doing numbers. It hasn't even been out for 24 hours yet. So we still got, a few hours to see what this ends up being. I think it's at about 20 million views right now, 18 million views right now in 22 hours, which is incredible. And, Drake and his team and all the bots on Twitter accused Kendrick of using bots and his team of using bots. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the spotlight's on them now, so I don't know what you can say. I don't know if they're still using bots. We haven't heard from the guy that went on Academics' page and made that claim. We haven't heard a follow-up since then. I'm kind of curious on that. We never get follow-ups. We never get follow-ups on anything. People make these accusations, people make these claims, and then we don't hear from these people. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, overall, great video. I think it's going to be an iconic video when it's all said and done. The hopscotching through a minor, that part was fucking sick. It was crazy. Doing the crip walk on the tightrope was crazy. Shout out to Homegirl for doing that. That was really dope. Tommy the Clown was in the video. The snippet in the motherfucking beginning, man. Kendrick and people is just now getting hit. People was like, freaking out yesterday about that snippet. And then they're like, I was reading comments and people was like, oh my God, that's so dope, blah, blah, blah. But Kendrick and TDE, I know Kendrick is not with TDE no more, but he still, is closely associated with them. And they've done that in a lot of their work. You can go back to SZA, Schoolboy Q, Absol. They preview other records that may be on the album, or records that never come out on some of their big releases, and they do that in their videos. And I've always liked that. Now I do wish we could get the fucking actual release of this song. It sounds like a summer song. So I really do think Kenny is loading up, and he's gearing up to fuck up the club scene. It sounds like out west. It sounds like almost like a Mustard beat. So I can hear Vince Staples on that record there. So I definitely want to get that. I don't want it to be a situation like we got with All Right. When the beginning of All Right, Kendrick previewed the song with the little homies. Tell me who the bitch nigga hating on me, jumping on my dick and this dick ain't free. To Pimp a Butterfly, another classic CD. We never ended up getting that, and that song sounded fucking crazy. It sounded crazy. So we definitely want that. I'm about ready to wash my hands with this beef, man. Kendrick won flat out, hands down, fair and square. Everybody's talking about bots this and angle that and pedophile and none of that, like all that's in the wash. You guys got to understand these are two top rappers in the two top spots, and that it was a chess match. And when someone says something is a chess match in that respective field, that means that it's the in-between shit. When you play chess, it's not what you see just on the board. There's a lot of shit in between that goes into it. And that's what people mean when they say it's going to be a chess match. So we knew that going into it, guys. And we knew that people was going to use bots. We knew that it was going to be a numbers thing. We knew it was going to be a narrative thing. Like, we knew all those things. Kendrick beat him at every angle. That's just the point of the matter. So the fact that everybody is spending day in and day out defending Drake on Twitter shows you who the winner is. Like, Kendrick fans don't have to come out and be defending him. Like, we're not on our back foot. We're just like saying, okay, but he lost. Like Drake lost. Like, that's, y'all can talk about the reasons. Like, the Lakers beat the fucking Kings in 2002, and y'all can debate the reason. But the fact of the matter is, you lost. So, like, that's what we're saying. You lost. If you feel like it was rigged, just come back outside. Bring your beige ass back. I got some pants, Drake's color. Bring your beige ass back outside and fight another round. Like, the Heart Part 6 didn't get it done. Then you're releasing all these other weak-ass records. They're not getting it done. So come back outside. That's just what it comes down to. But, yeah, we got the video now. We're hearing that a remix is coming. And I don't give a fuck. Everybody's saying, like, we're so done. You're beating us over the head. This is how records used to. Man, I can't tell y'all. I was about 12 years old when two songs came out. I'm So Hood and All I Do Is Win. All I Do Is Win. Y'all haven't seen somebody get beat over the head by a record more than All I Do Is Win. And Hotline Bling. And what was the song? Key, do you love me? Like, that drove me fucking crazy. That drove me crazy. You talk about Disney. You talk about Sweet Life of Zack and Cody records. You talk about baby Kids Bop records. That's a Kids Bop record. So I don't want to hear that. This is how records used to be spun. This is how records used to be wrote out. And this is how they used to, artists, it used to be an artist's job to work the record. You would work your record. You would do a remix. You would do a treatment. You would do all types of different shit for that record to build steam. And then on the remix, you would give a new verse. And then you would sneak it in a soundtrack. And then there's a whole bunch of things. And that's part of being an artist. There's a business to this thing, guys. And I think people lack that understanding. And they're just like, okay, you're dragging this out. But it's like, yeah, I'm going to own the whole summer with this song. So give me Juneteenth. Give me July 4th. You're not getting any of those holidays to response, and you're not getting any of those holidays to feel good. I'm going to drag it. This record came out like May 4th or something, Cinco de Mayo, something around that time, another holiday. And it's like, nope. I'm owning all this. I want to own all of this real estate, this whole summer real estate. I want to own it. And that's what Kendrick is doing. That's how you defeat your competition. Y'all need to read the 48 Laws of Power. There's ways and angles, and there's ways you want to defeat an opponent. You want to obliterate them. You want to fucking obliterate them. So yeah, they not like us. Again, that reaction's coming on my fucking channel, but I just wanted to give my quick thoughts on that here. Adam22, just getting on my nerve, but what's new? I do not like media platforms, white media platforms in the hip hop space that do shit like this. Let's just let the cat out the bag. I don't like it. I will never condone it. I will never support it. Some of my friends out there, y'all know who you are, Trayvon, that like this raunchy ass, no jumper, Vlad TV. Like, Get these bozos, these jabronis out of here, man. Why are they in our space? Like, who let them in and why? Adam 22 is allowing Pop Smoke's killer, who was just recently released from prison, to come onto his show and kind of like he's giving them layups and like asking them questions about the murder of Pop Smoke. And it's like, I don't know where y'all come from. I don't know what street ethics y'all got, and I don't know what kind of family. I don't know, but that shit is sick. It's weird, and I definitely don't condone it at all. I don't condone it one bit, and it's weird to me, man. It's just totally weird, and it's definitely out of bounds for Adam 22 to me. And this is what, and people was probably wondering, like, what do you mean? Like, what's the big deal? It's his platform, you know, who doesn't want to hear from somebody's killer? It's like, there's certain shit, there's certain street, man, when you mix it, you all in our space, man. And then you're bringing over your own ideologies and rules and stuff to hip hop culture, which is its own in and of itself, man. You are a guest in hip hop, and I cannot stress this enough. You are a fucking guest in hip hop, and you need to behave that way. You need to behave that way. You need to behave as a guest all the time. And you've been crossing the line. You've been crossing the line the whole time. And bringing Pop Smoke's killer on just does not give you no brownie points. It won't give you no brownie points. And hey, yo, go downstairs while I'm recording and stop. Sure. Don't play with that ball either. Sorry. But yeah, it doesn't give you no brownie points, man, and it's just weird. That whole show, the whole matrix of that show, the whole meat and potatoes of that show, to me, is just founded on some bullshit. I will never support it. So fuck you, Adam 22. We don't want to hear about Pop Smoke's killer. We don't want to hear him etching out how they broke in and Pop Smoke like resisted, and then they just had to do like that shit, man. Please, if we get that information, I want to read about it. And like, it should be in a confessional or something. That dude, I do not want somebody, especially a hip hop media platform, going up there and serenading this guy who murdered another black man, a rapper, a prominent rap person that was feeding his family. I ain't for all that. That shit, y'all, man. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. No, y'all two, go sit down until I'm done with my video. Y'all making too much noise, and I'm literally recording a live stream video. And y'all bouncing balls. Get your asses downstairs and sit until I'm done. Play the game. I'm back. Anyways, fuck you, Adam 22. Vlad, you're next, man. You're on my shit list, man. I'm gonna get to you. We seen that shit that you pulled last month with the Jenkins sister, Darkside's niece, I think it was. And I'm so glad that they lit your ass up. I'm so glad that they did that and they said what they had to say. We ain't heard from you since. And man, if you rappers and desperate ass, broke ass, old ass rappers needing to pay your fucking mortgage, if y'all don't stop going up to these platforms, just fucking stop. For the life of me, stop. Go sit down with somebody the fuck else, man. Go sit down with somebody else. Stop sitting down with Adam 22 and stop sitting down with Vlad. They get on my fucking nerve. They're horrible. I will never support these fucking bums. Ever. What else is going on? Ryan Garcia, man. Ryan Garcia is cuckoo for fucking Cocoa Puffs. He's been cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but he's been ramping it up more and more as the time goes on. Ryan Garcia keeps leaning more and more into all this weird ass shit that he does. He keeps on, if you guys follow him on X, he just says crazy shit every day. And I'm so sick of the troll culture, guys. Like, stop. It's like the Kanye West angle. Like, say the craziest shit just to draw attention to media and headlines. Like, oh my God, a celebrity saying this is so crazy. It's like, stop, man. I wish everybody would fucking stop. So you got clown ass Ryan Garcia, who's already been, it was under review. I think they did suspend his title or his win against Devin Haney because of the whole allegations of PED uses and stuff like that. So he's just spiraling out of control. But in the midst of spiraling out of control, he decides to get racist. And like he thinks because he fucks black women that he can say the N-word and talk about George Floyd and shit like that. So like I just don't even understand why we continue to let certain people in our spaces and then they continue to step over the line continuously. So Ryan Garcia, you're done in my book. I do not forget. You're done. I will slander you. Good luck winning another fucking fight. You're done. You're done. You're disgusting. I get so sick of that troll shit, man. You just say anything that comes out of your mouth. Man, he was talking about, I'm going to get arrested. There's going to be an earthquake in LA this day. And you know, Epstein this. And you guys, if anybody that is on X, they know what I'm talking about. He just has something crazy to say every day. You crossed the line here. You just crossed the line here. It's just that simple, man. You need to watch your fucking mouth. Don't think just because you're boxing welterweight, champ, that means you can get to say what you want to say. That was Tyson Fury back in 2021 or whenever he beat the fuck out of home clown, LeBron looking boxer nigga. When Tyson Fury had that little run, we allowed him to say what he wanted because we sent our best. We sent our best and they couldn't handle him. They couldn't handle Tyson Fury. So I was like, well, you can do whatever you want because who else are we going to send? But Ryan Garcia, I know some niggas in the hood that would beat you up. So just stop. Just stop. Stop all that trolling shit. We're done. We are done. Speaking of trolling and fighting and shit, man, I didn't even get to cover the fucking presidential debate. I'm not going to go deep into it, but what a fucking mess. What a mess. Can y'all believe this is y'all's country? And we just celebrated the independence of the nation. So shout out to the founding fathers. Shout out to the American Revolution and all that shit. But the shit that they pulled last week, the week before July the 4th, man, what an abomination, man. And can you just imagine these other world leaders that just sit back and watch us? They just sit back and watch our presidential debate and say, this is the two best that y'all can send. There's 350 million Americans, somewhere around that ballpark, 330, whatever. And out of 330 Americans, these are the two best people that you guys can send. Not RFKJ, not Big Mike, not Obama, not Bernie, not Newsom, not Kamala, not Sarah Palin. Where's Mitt Romney? Anybody heard from Mitt Romney? Has anybody heard from Mitt Romney? Or George Bush? We'll take him back. These two clowns right now. Trump actually handled himself very well during the debate, I must say. He gave Joe Biden the rope and he allowed him to hang himself. That was totally fine. I thought that angle was good. I thought that was the angle he should have used. And boy, did Joe Biden hang himself. Or he wish he did. I can't blurt that out because I'm live. And I don't know what YouTube's policy is about suicide. But, man, it was so bad. Here's the thing. It's already come out now, or I think it's kind of coming out. But I said immediately when this happened, I said it before it happened, but definitely after it happened, I said that it looked like the Democrats was trying to get rid of Joe Biden. And they used this as a ploy. They used this as a fucking ploy to showcase to the world that he was incapable, which is what the Republicans have been saying the whole time, is that they didn't feel like they gaslit us. That's the moral to this story. They told us for years that we were lying. We were seeing things. The president was fine. He was healthy. He wasn't sleepy. He's had a stuttering problem his whole career, even though he's been in politics for 60 fucking years. And we never noticed this lack of this glitch that he has. But they try to convince us that that's been going on. Well, I disagree. Not only did I disagree, I went back and watched old Biden videos, and I'm old enough to remember that right before Donald Trump got in office, so in 2016, that year, when Obama's last term and his last few months, man, when he had all the niggas in the White House every fucking week, because y'all remember during the end, Obama was just like, fuck it, man. He was inviting Pusha T, J. Cole, Franco, everybody was in the White House, and they was kicking it, they was chilling, they was smoking, they was drinking, they was fucking, they was doing the big thing. It was all good. It was all good. Niggas in the White House. Shout out to Pimp a Butterfly. Niggas on POTUS Lawn, man. The homies on POTUS Lawn. But yeah, so There was a period, man, where when Joe was the vice president, man, everybody was calling him Cool Joe. Y'all remember that? Cool Joe. He was Cool Joe. He was Cool Joe, man. He had videos on Twitter. He had the sunglasses on. He was cool, man. And he used to talk a little bit, man. He did not have no speech. He did not have no speaking problem like that. He did not glitch out like that. I went back to the Crime Bill Act and all of that shit, man. Stop it. So, anyways, they gaslit the American people as they do. The American people, if I can show y'all and tell y'all anything, stop falling for our own propaganda. Turn on some other news, guys. And I know we got independent media now. We got independent media. Shout out to Joe Rogan. Shout out to the podcasters out there and stuff. But even then, y'all, it's always good to go get some news. The Sky News, Sky Network. There's a Russian news. There's all types of other news, and they'll report. It's not mainly on American news and stuff like that, but they'll report on American news. It's just good to see other country and other leaders and other media perspective on American politics. So that's one. Joe Biden is done. He's done. His party is done with him. They are now not behind him. They are working on initiatives to get him out of there. His family is refusing to relinquish any power because they've been the Geppetto up his back the whole time, and they've been controlling him. They've been puppeteered him. And Jill Biden, his wife, is just in love with this power. I know what she needs. I know what she needs, guys. I know what she needs. She needs some BBC. If she got some black cock, she would be all right with leaving the White House. That's my take. That's my take. But right now, you got to think, this woman, you think her and Joe Biden are making love. They're losing children left and right. And, that's no joking matter. Joe Biden, I think, has lost one or two children up to this point. Hunter Biden's getting ready to go to jail or go to prison. So, is there something to the fact that this man can't even run a household necessarily? And, I want to be sensitive. I got family members that are on drugs and stuff as well. But, this is the president of the United States. And not only do I believe he can't run a household, but besides being able to run a country, they're now reporting, after we've been calling him Sleepy Joe for 4 years, they're now reporting that Joe Biden needs to, he's not going to be scheduling events after 8 p.m. and he was tired. He needed more. First, they reported that he was sick. Then he came out and said that he was tired after traveling 13 days prior back and forth to the G7 summit, to France and all these. But this is par for the course. So all you're doing to me is telling me that you're not fit to run. They've already immuned you. They've already given you immunity and said that you weren't fit to stand trial because of your situation. But then on the same breath that they're saying that you can run the country, how does that make sense? It doesn't really quite make sense to me. So Joe Biden's done, but more importantly than that, he doesn't believe he's done. But that's sign one of dementia. That's sign one of being old and senile. If you got grandparents or parents or anybody that suffers from Alzheimer's or dementia, when they start losing their faculties and stuff like that, they get senile. They get batshit fucking crazy. And then they refuse to relinquish any of their control. Everybody knows that when they first have that shit, they still think they can wash up. They still think they can drive. They still think that they can watch the kids. They still think they can make dinner. They still think they can close the blinds at night. They still think that they can control the remote. They still think they can do all of these things. None of it ends up being true. They lose their faculties, and they get worse and worse as the conditions get worse and worse, and as time goes on. So that's what we witnessed with Joe. I mean, like I said, he looks like he's eating oatmeal, like a hot bowl of oatmeal every time he talks. When you got something hot in your mouth and you spit it out and you juggle it. That he just stumbles over his words and then he just zones out. He just zones out. And he's clearly in the sunken place. He's clearly in the sunken place. We watched the fucking movie and he's clearly in the sunken place. So please, we're done with the Joe chapter. We're done. We almost made it. We got 7 more months of this shit. Maybe 6 more months. The election's in 5 months. Early voting's in about 3 or 4 months. But like, we got to make it to January. We got to make it to the inauguration. So there's still a lot. There's a lot that can be done, man. These countries are on the rise. They're marching. I think we just approved more aid, another bill over to Ukraine for another $10.2 billion. Let me tell you something, guys. These guys are funneling money. These politicians are dirty. There's no politicians that should be sitting on millions and millions of dollars. They work for us. They are this is elected positions. They work for the American people. They should not be sitting on all this money. Now, what they're doing is, everybody knows that when they start these wars are to be extended, and there is money to be made. Not for your black ass, not for my black ass, not for your white ass, not for my white ass, but for them, the people in power. They get richer off of these wars. What did Tupac say back in like 94, 92, 93, whenever it was? They got money for wars but can't feed the poor. Like, you cannot tell me that makes any fucking sense from a logistic standpoint. There's no policy, there's no angle that you can tell me that we got homeless people in San Francisco, homeless people in Chicago, homeless people in Detroit, homeless people in Portland, homeless people in Washington, right outside the White House. And we are passing $10 billion over to Ukraine again to just drag this war out. They can't win. They don't got the manpower. They're not going to win. So it tells me these politicians aren't that stupid. They're not that stupid. If we can see it, they've seen it 2 weeks ago. That's just how that works. So you got to start thinking that there's an ulterior motive to this. There's an ulterior motive to it, which there is. And it's that these politicians and these presidents and Hunter Biden and his laptop, they're funneling money down through these bills because, the money gets passed through us. And, that $10 billion gets passed through us. And, we make the arms and the trade and we make the weapons and stuff like that. But they can't account for all this money. They never account for all this money. By the way, they ran an audit. Well, they do it all the time, but they ran an audit on, on our deficit and our money and the treasury and stuff. And did y'all know that every year, there's money, they don't account for billions of dollars every year. They just don't even know where it goes. Now, it's funny that if that was us in our taxes and we don't file and we don't pay our taxes and we don't do this and we were in business, and anybody in business, you don't go, billions of dollars, maybe trillions of dollars being unaccounted for when you run audits. We need to lift up that skirt. We need to figure these things out. Someone needs to know where this money is going. So that's all a dirty game. I've never gotten into politics and stuff like that as far as voting and shit. I don't want to use my platform to discourage anybody, but I'm just telling you guys, it's a bunch of crooks. We got presidents that are refusing to relinquish power even though they shit the bed and they got depends on. We got Donald Trump who's batshit crazy, but we need batshit crazy right now. That kind of leads me to the point about the fact that the Supreme Court, ruled, I think, what was it, 6-3 for presidential immunity with, there's stipulations. I can't remember off the top, but there's presidential immunity was passed by the Supreme Court Justice 6-3. And people think that this is just, and it potentially is because, once there's a law made in place, the game players, the pawn people, they go to work at finding ways to manipulate any rules. That's just going to be anywhere you go, any business, any function, any fraction. People are going to try to find a way to manipulate the rules and the regulations. So presidents being no different. So they did rule for immunity, but again, with some stipulations and stuff. And so I could see where people are alarmed at that because that can and that probably will come back and bite the American people in the ass very, very soon. Now, do I believe Trump is going to get into office and just be an absolute dictator? No, I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that at all. I believe that it's in his best case to be very careful. Anybody to be very, very careful with the American people right now. With the way that there's information coming out every day, and there's free media, and the way that the people believe, they wouldn't have that shit for 1 second. They wouldn't have. We'll just tear this shit up. That's just what it would be, guys. That's just what it would be. That we'll just tear this shit up. We'll have to restart. We'll be celebrating a new holiday, the day that we burnt this shit down, because the American people wouldn't stand for it for 1 second. Or I wouldn't. A dictator, if they treated this shit like China, go ahead, man. Some people's just gonna die on their sword. Some people's not gonna put up with it. And some real right winged American, they're not gonna put up with it. But this leads all into the conspiracy, the tinfoil hats, and people, they're trying to take away our guns. They're trying to, get us on drugs and, blah, 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 blah. Like I said, I don't believe that was for that, but I think in this case, it was for the ruling of the Donald Trump versus the New York, that whole shit as far as the insurrection case, as far as the January 6th ruling of the riots at the Capitol State Building and shit like that. So presidents, and I talked about it on this channel before, presidents have always had immunity. They do all types of war crimes. They do all types of crimes, man. We haven't, I don't know exactly when it was, but we haven't been legally or officially in a war in decades. Yet we've expanded territory. We've done military operations all throughout this world for decades. So what does that tell you? People, drone strikes on countries in Libya, the shit with Muammar Gaddafi and the Libyan people. So presidents have always had immunity. So no, there's really no difference there. It's just that the Supreme Court justice put it in ruling. So now, like I said, with that being the case, people in power or people in general are going to find loopholes. People are going to find loopholes in that. So we could see a dictatorship at some point. I don't think that Trump or Biden is going to be the people that we see that with, but I can see that ruling coming down to bite the American people or America in general in the ass somewhere in the future. Maybe we get the rise of the Antichrist, and it's Elon Musk and the neural chip. So ultimately it was an embarrassment a few weeks ago with the debates. Joe Biden just made an ass out of himself and out of the American people. I know the countries around the nation they are just kicking for joy. And that's why we see all the chaos. I think the Biden administration has tried to continue and expand military operations, and they are just so, and also the military complex industry is its own entity. It's its own entity. Really, realistically, in a crazy scenario, our military complex could just really do shit on their own. In fact, y'all should watch the movie, the Napoleon movie that Joaquin Phoenix was just in. I know it wasn't the best movie or anything like that, but again, like the French Revolution and how they overthrown, their government and stuff like that is the same way. It's like a general that, what happens if our military complex turns on the president and stops listening to commanding orders, and they just say, well, no. What if we wage war on the American people? Or what if we wage war on our own government? What if the military complex wages war on its own government? Then what? You know what I'm saying? So, there is a scenario where they could be operating on their own functions. I believe that the Biden administration has just made sloppy mistakes, and they've tried to continue to expand in democratic regimes across the nations and stuff like that. And it's just caused wars, and they're trying to funnel money down, and it's just ruffling the wrong feathers. And I do also believe world leaders across the world look at this chump in the office and they're like, yeah, right. Yeah, the fuck right. Yeah, right. You think Putin is scared of Biden? Not for 1 fucking second. Well, hey, what's up, Shane? What's up, dog? I got some guests in here. I'm just going live, man. Just giving it live and direct, man. I don't know how to stop the video and do all types of crazy shit. Yell at my nephews, but I'm just live and direct here, man. We talking about the horrible presidential debate, but I'm off that. Them clowns made them. It was just a complete embarrassment. Trump made a statement today about Project 25, and I wish everybody would please, 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 for the love of God, please just shut the fuck up about Project 25. That is not what is going on. Like, y'all, yes, Biden did poop. Biden definitely pooped his pants. Did y'all see today what Biden said? Biden confused himself. He said he was a black lady. He said he was the first black vice president lady or something. He just said it today on the radio. And then yesterday, he was confused about the holiday. He came out in his speech and he said, ho, ho, ho. And Kamala Harris said, I'm right here. And then he said, no, not that kind of ho. He was talking about like Christmas. And they had to tell him, like, there's fireworks, Joe, and there's no snow on the ground. Like, what do you mean, ho, ho, ho? So, like, this guy is stuck in December. He's completely lost. And it's really a threat to democracy. It's a threat to our country that they got this man in the fucking White House right now. Like, all jokes aside, like I said, I've never been into voting and all that shit. But yes. He said ho, ho, ho. He literally said that. I made up a lot of that other shit, but he literally said that. He literally said it yesterday on July the 4th, on our independence. You know, this man is a fucking madman. He is a madman, bro. It's not even a joke. It's not even a fucking joke. He's really fucking crazy. He's crazy. And Trump is crazy, but he's crazy in a different way. He's crazy that we might need at this very point. Was Trump's presidency smooth sailing like he claims it was? Of course not. People forget. We got the pandemic during that. We had the worst riots in American history since Rodney King. I mean, they were burning Minnesota down. Like, people just like totally forget. I mean, we had all types of shit. We had the Federation come down, the old flag, the Confederate flag situation. We've had some crazy times under President Trump, and people act like it didn't happen. No, his presidency was fucking crazy, but it was contained within the House. It was contained within the House of the American hemisphere. And that's what I've always said, is that I believe that, you know, it's the damn concept. We're damned if we do, damned if we don't. Red pill, blue pill. That both outcomes are not the outcomes that we're going to be looking for, but we just got to make a decision on which way we want to get to that outcome. I believe that if we continue the path that we're on today, right now, we get attacked from outside nation. We get attacked from outside threat because our inside is so weak. And everybody knows, you know, together we stand, divided we fall. A house divided cannot stand, you know, blah, blah, blah. So obviously that's a problem. But also with Trump, shit was so crazy within these four walls, within the nation. We were being divided from within. We were going to kill each other. So that's where I think that we're at, is that you get these two candidates and we got to pick our poison. Do we want to deal with what we were dealing with 6 years ago when we was all marching in the streets and, you know, all the police shooting, you know, because I'm telling y'all right on cue, this is what's going to happen. They're going to paint Trump as some fascist racist. We're going to start seeing, you know, cops shooting, you know, they control all this shit as far as what they feed the American people. So it's just a matter of how you want your sandwich. You know, you want it with chips, you want it with dip, you know, like what is going to happen? You know, I'm going to go ahead and say, put Trump in that motherfucker because he's funny. You know, me and my friends, we've been past the stage of saving this shithole. I mean, this shit is a shithole. I mean, you see this shit, it's a fucking shithole. It's a dump. It's a fucking dump. So me and my friends, what we like to do, we like to sit around and we like to kind of just like, you know, light something, you know, get a little smoke on, get a little drink on, get a little fuck on. We like to do our own little thing, but we like to just, you know, reconvene with each other and kind of laugh. You know, life is one funny motherfucker. You know, we just kind of laugh at the situation we're in. We all know we're doomed. I mean, we talk about it every day in our, me and my friends, we talk about it every day. We all know we're doomed. We're well past the stage of trying to save this country. We are in the last stages of a falling empire, guys. That's just the fact of the matter. Just don't even fight it. Enjoy the show. We've seen the movies. We've seen all the scary end of the world movies, but there's funny ones that come out too. Y'all know, have y'all seen This Is the End? I just watched that 2 days ago. I love that fucking movie. You know, so we just need to enjoy the last little remnants we have of a country, the greatest empire that was ever built. Let's just, and that's why I'll be telling people, fuck all that other shit. Fuck all that morals and all that. I mean, I'm keeping my morals and shit, but I'm also selling out a little bit. You know, I'm trying to get in and get some of this motherfucking piece of this pie before it all crumbles. You know, I'm trying to, everybody's throwing around money. Money don't even mean nothing no more. Money don't even mean a fuck. It's not even, yep. We just laugh at the theatrics. And yeah, we definitely laugh at the people that don't see it. We definitely laugh at the people that don't see it. We literally say, you are so fucking dumb. We literally look at people every day and go, you are so dumb. You really believe that? And people really, really, really believe. They really, really think that their vote matters. They really, really think that the left and the right control the country. They really think that they pass laws. People really believe these things. They really, really believe these things. Like, get a fucking clue. Wake up. I mean, listen. Look around you. Look around you. There's clearly other forces out there that are acting on our very essence and our very existence as far as this country is concerned. There's other, they call it the deep state. You know, that's a hot term now all of a sudden. We called it the Illuminati 10 years ago. You know, we also called it things that start with a J. They may celebrate bar mitzvahs, you know. But there's other Israel. There's other things out there that are outside of our control. And it's clear as day. It should be clear as day. But there are some people that walk through the apocalypse blind. You know, and they say during this time, you know, the man with one eye will be king. So you just got to, whoever's going to be the most aware, whoever is the most awake. And I know woke is a horrible term now. They hijacked that term. Give that term back to black people. I see that shit on MSNBC, Fox News. My boss talks about it. People at work talk about it. Everybody talks about woke, and they like make it a slander term. Like, give us that term back. Yeah, we've been using that term for forever, and it was cool. It was cool when we used it. Then y'all hijacked it. Y'all are always last to the goddamn part. Just now, like now, I'm seeing everybody doing like other people. And they not like us shit. And that y'all make it corny. We never make it corny. It was never corny when we was doing it. When we was talking about being woke and stay woke and all the songs we made about being woke and all that shit, please, that shit was fire. Y'all ruined it. So give us that term back. But yeah, this empire is done. It's done. We're in the late stages of a dying empire, man. Industry, military industry complex, too spread thin. We got our hands in too many wars. 30 trillions of dollars in debt. You know, we're printing money at an alarming rate. We're $33 trillion in debt, but we're sending money every which way. Don't even mention the shit that's going on within the country. We got homelessness at a rabbit rate. They're passing all types of crazy fucking laws. They're also, initiating pedophilia. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to that, but they're adding the whole pride shit that's just getting completely out of control. Well, pedophilia is falling under that. They're calling it preferred young person's choices. Some weird shit that they're trying to term and trying to make people more comfortable with it. They're putting it more in our movies. They're putting it more in our books. They're putting it more in our language, more in our lingua. Now we got rap songs about pedophilia. I see the bigger picture. And I'm just telling you, I will never be comfortable with pedophilia. I do, before I want to get off of here, I got people in the chat. Shout out to the chat. There is going to come a time where we as a people have to have this awkward conversation. I've had it in some of my studies, my theological study classes and stuff like that. And I think I just seen something on Twitter, and it was from somebody from, I can't remember where they were from, so apologies. But they were talking about a 14-year-old and how this is going to sound sick. Please forgive me. But they were talking about from a scientific standpoint about how that 14-year-old is ready for sex and blah, 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 blah. This was a grown man, by the way. So I just want to toss this out there that, you read in the Bible and a lot of historical texts, a lot of scripture and stuff. There's prophets all through the Quran, Muhammad, there's prophets in the Bible that, they eloped with very, 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 very young women. my homie who was in the chat, shout out to Hunter, go follow him at the Homie Review. He just reviewed the movie Lolita. Same kind of concept, a 15-year-old with a grown man, a 28-year-old, I believe. So it's very, very sick. It's very, very sick. I in no way condone it. I will never condone it. Not my thing. I would love to have a daughter one day. I cannot imagine. However, I do want to say that it is an arbitrary, 18 is an arbitrary number that we just came up with in the country. So like, we're kind of like that, they say, with a bug, like I think it's like a beetle. You can set a beetle on a table and draw lines around that beetle, and they will like envision that line as a gate or a fence, like things like an obstacle that they have to get around or they're trapped within, even though it's an imaginary line. So that's what arbitrary means. It's like very arbitrary, the number 18. Like, why did we choose 18? What's the history of 18? Why is 16 the age of consent? Like, why? Why these numbers? And I say all that to say that, there's a lot of people we revere from a religious standpoint that have history with younger women. I mean, 11, 12-year-olds, and they made them wives and concubines and just certain shit like that. So I just want to know, like, what does what's the history on this? Where does everybody stand? And does everybody else see it how I see it, as far as them trying to make pedophilia kind of like normalized? And ultimately, what I believe, the reason why they're trying to do this pedophilia thing is because they know that curtain is coming down. We want the Epstein list. We want it. And if they can condition us, which they are genius at. I'm talking about, guys, the people that are in control of this are what we call scientists. They're called scientists. They know how to manipulate the mind. They know how to manipulate the body. They know chemistry. They know alchemy. They know it all. So, why are they trying to get? Why do you guys think they're trying to get us ready? Why are they trying to get us so comfortable with that pedophilia angle? I like I said, I believe it's because they're on the list. The people on Fox News, the people on CNN, they're on the list. The presidents, they're on the list. Entertainers, they're on the list. Michael Rubin had his motherfucking, I got him too. Michael Rubin had his all-white party again, and Lil Baby didn't learn his lesson from last year, being that nasty-ass Oreo. So now he's at the party again. And notice, Lil Baby hasn't been the same since that party. I don't know what they did, and I don't know where they did it. I know they turned him into an Oreo. He doesn't make music no more. I make a joke every single day. If you got him on Snapchat or anything, he is always posting. I call him Lil Jury. That's what I call him, Lil Jury. All he posts is about is he's the type of Negro that they don't even got to worry about him one bit. This nigga got in front of a mic, made a few $1 million, if that. They fed this nigga some money, and he's good to go, man. He made that Big Picture song. He don't stand for a goddamn thing he said in that Big Picture song. We ain't heard him do nothing else since that Big Picture song. And maybe I'm ignorant. Like some people be on Kendrick and people that I fuck with, man. So hey, just put me on game. But from where I stand, this nigga is the biggest minstrel show of all time. He's the biggest tap dancer of all time. He gets on that white man stage, let me tell y'all, and all he do is flash his jewelry, his cars, his clothes. I thought he had the rap game on lock. That's what I was told in 2020, that he was the next up. Well, I can't tell. Rap is supposed to make shit real uncomfortable, guys. Like that's what it's supposed to do. The party and dance shit, that was cool. That stemmed from hip hop and shit too, but hey, it's really, we're going to throw these gems with these tunes in here so niggas can dance a little bit, but the niggas that listen and know what's up, they can hear too. And we give the call through rap music. Hey, the minister said that one rapper is worth 1,000. One rapper is worth 1,000 preachers. And that's the fact of the matter. Rappers got shit in a chokehold, man, and I don't take that shit lightly. So, Lil Baby, step your game up, man. I don't know what's at these all-white parties. I don't know what keeps attracting y'all to it, but Drake was there. I'm telling on everybody. Drake, Drewski, Lil Wayne was there, and I want to see. We need to see a picture of Wayne and we need to see a picture of Wayne and fucking Drake together yesterday. I want to see a picture, then I want to see a little video because I need to know what Wayne thinks about this and why Wayne ain't been so public about his support for Drake right now. And Drake looked like he aged about 15 years. Let's just keep it a buck. I really think he's on that Ozempic. It's clear as day to me. I really think that. He looks horrible. I said that they giving him the Michael Jackson script. You know, Michael Jackson got all woke and started buying up catalogs, kind of like what Drake didn't get woke, but Drake, you know, was trying to own niggas, and you know, his Jewish side came out. Ooh, I didn't mean to say that. I'm used to being able to edit videos and shit. Drake's other side came out, and he tried to really control niggas. He tried to buy up people's catalogs, and he wanted to control half of the industry and shit. So Kung Fu Kenny had to come out and put an end to that. So I love that Kung Fu Kenny did that. But my point was, they trying to give Drake the Michael Jackson script, but I think Drake is the fucking Antichrist. Because Michael Jackson was really trying to do some shit. He was buying people's masters and giving it back to them. He was making some different types of power moves. Drake, on the other hand, is just being a straight degenerate. So I think that they is drugging this man. He looks horrible. Yeah. Catching incentives for all the killings we are rewriting rentals. That's Lil Baby. That gotta be Lil Baby. He's horrible. But yeah, Drake is getting the Michael Jackson script, man. They even coming at him with the pedophilia angle. I love that. It's such a Charlotte's Web, such a web. It's so nasty. Kendrick, you are a nasty man. I would have pulled that. I would have pushed that button earlier. I've been said go at that angle. We want complete defeat. But yeah, Drake's going to be battling that. He's going to be battling not the true allegations. Like that's, people are missing that. Like that's, I already talked about Ross getting punched in the mouth. I love the security guard being on one knee. Like that's my favorite. Like, because my cousin's a little bit bigger, and you know, I done wrestled with my cousin. And when a big man get on that one knee, let me show y'all. He was on his knee like this, and he was getting punched, and he was trying to get up. And every time he tried to get up, it was back on one knee. When a big man get on one knee like that, they need something to grab onto. They need that leverage. And he could not catch his breath, man. And it was just so good to me seeing him on one knee like that. I didn't really like it, man. I really didn't like it. It made me feel uncomfortable watching him get punched in the head like that. But it gave me some flashbacks. Yeah, T-Bowing. Yeah. But back to Drake and Ozempic. You know, y'all see that picture with with Ruben? Drake really looks sick. He really looks sick. I don't really think the Kendrick beef has aged him like that. I mean, come on, let's be realistic about stuff. This man is on fucking drugs. They're giving him the Michael Jackson script. And, you know, there was a whole shout out to What's the Dirt. I already shouted him out earlier. Shout out to What's the Dirt. Again, I think you was reaching a little bit on the 616 in LA video. And there's a couple videos you do, and I know you're coming out with the Family Matters videos. He be reaching a little bit, but well researched, very well detailed. And as far as a content creator, I got to tip my hats to that. So, but I say all that to say, they were investigating. This was early on in the beef about the whole Ozempic and then the Ebony Prince with the T-shirt, and then that weird ass. Y'all remember Drake was in that picture with that weird ass little nasty. The little human that was in the wheelchair, the little midget human thing that was in the wheelchair, that they traced it back that there was ties to the same doctor that was drugging Kanye West up a few years ago when they was threatening him to put him back in the sunken place. They were tied to Drake and his Ozempic prescriptions. So that, to me, that's very alarming. And I'm kind of concerned about Aubrey, and I want Aubrey to come home. I know he's back in Canada, but I really want Aubrey to be safe. I want Aubrey to be healthy. I want Aubrey to bow out of this gracefully. I want him to bow out gracefully. He hasn't made a rap song since the beef. He looks sick. I think he's on drugs. I think he does have a gambling issue, and I do think that he. I really, 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 really ultimately believe that Aubrey is he has arrested development. Christopher Alvarez. Oh shit, bless me. Christopher Alvarez. Look him up. But don't look him up at night. Do not look him up at night. I tried that. Do not look him up at night. But yeah, I just really think that Drake has a classic case of arrested development. I've said that for years. I mean, years and years and years. Do I believe he really likes little girls? Yeah. I mean, yeah. But you know, we kind of talked about it. We kind of talked about it, man. He's from Canada. He's not from the States. Another thing, too, a couple things. I didn't really get to put this in my reaction videos to They Not Like Us, and I didn't bring it up. But there's a whole bunch of symbolism in They Not Like Us. You know, me being a nerd, I'm cringy. I get all that, especially when it comes to Kendrick and his work. You know, I'm looking at the video. They're crip walking. I'm like, yeah. Yeah. Where's all the detail? Because he's like the Shining. He's like the Stanley Kubrick of the industry. The first thing I noticed was the 444 on the homegirl that was crip. That she passed him the Bible. Beat your ass behind the Bible, guy, and she had 444 on her. And I go, okay, that's interesting. Nothing's, and it was zoomed in, like it was very evident. So I'm like, nothing with Kendrick Lamar. People be like, yeah, y'all's capping. People dig too hard on Kendrick. No, nothing for this Kendrick Lamar, man. It does not be accidental. I can tell you that. It did not be accidental. It's very intentional. Shout out to Dave Free. But so she had 444, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty interesting. And then I seen that the whole video was 5 minutes and 55 seconds. And I go, well, I'll be damned. And Kendrick's been into this whole numerology thing for a while. He's into numerology. He's into the horoscopes and all the universal, he kind of touched on a lot of this on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. A lot of elements of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was about the new earth. And it's Eckhart Tolle, Alan Watts, and there's a whole bunch of philosophy and stuff behind the new earth and the collective conscious. And in fact, I just was watching something earlier today about Carl Jung, the Red Book, and the collective conscious and all that. So that's a whole topic that I'm probably losing viewers on. But 444 on her, tatted on her, and then 555 was the video count. There's other stuff in there that I caught, the cargo ships that him and Dave Free is in front of, and then they're doing that weird little new dance where men get in a gym, I guess, together. They go into a gym locker room, and then they take their shirts off, and then they gyrate their hips, and like it's kind of like a monkey dance. And I don't mean that to be racist, but I'm saying like monkeys do that kind of shit to women. Like there's certain, I think it's apes maybe, but they do that kind of shit to women to when they're getting ready to mate, and they're trying to entice their woman to mate. They kind of like gyrate their genitals and flex the size of the genitals. So, anyways, when they were doing that dance in front of the cargo ships, I go, that's pretty interesting. It's like very specific, and I wonder what that's all about. Then you get to thinking: sex trafficking, pedophilia, sex ring, Jeffrey Epstein, Underground Railroads, P. Diddy, R. Kelly, blah, blah, blah. Cargo ships. Very, very interesting because a lot of those women are to be said, apparently, they're shipped in those cargo ships. And then some, so I don't know if that was just by mistake. Again, Kendrick's a very intentional artist, so I don't know. Maybe it was just, coincidence. The owl at the end was very symbolic. I really liked it. I really liked the camera shot. But there were some other things in there, like I said, that really caught my attention more so than the owl at the end and then Whitney Crip walking on Drake's grave. So, yeah. I don't know how I got the fuck back on that. But yeah, this is my live. I'm gonna just start coming to you guys live. I'm a little bit behind in video, so I figured I'd just kind of spill out to you guys and let you guys know what I was thinking about all of these things. We're at over an hour now. I'm getting sleepy like Mr. Joe Biden. But yeah, let me know. Leave some comments below on shit I can touch on. I can come back again tomorrow because I got a lot to really discuss. Fulio apparently faked his death. He's trying to pull a Tupac on us. I didn't really touch on that. There's more shit going on in the politic world as far as the wars and shit. We need to really update on the Ukraine situation. No one's heard about anything going on in Israel and the Palestinians. You know, what's going on? Are they still in Rafah? So there's an update to be had there. There's a presidential debate coming up. They pushed Trump's sentencing back. It was supposed to be July 11th. They pushed that back to like September. There's Bronny James. I didn't cover nepotism that's going on in the league and La Disney and all the shit that he got going on. So a lot to be said. So I could come back tomorrow and come back Sunday. Leave comments below on shit that y'all want me to touch on. But we covered a lot here. And this is live on my page. Lord of Lips signing out. Peace.